my name's Dev, and I'm a rising sophomore at Palo Alto High School, and my project is a gesture-controlled RC car. And so I chose this project because up until 20 years ago, controlling objects with your hands were the stuff of science fiction. And then Nintendo disproved that by inventing the Nintendo Power Glove. And what this did was, it allowed you to interact with your TV and the characters in the game with the motions of your hand. And so I wanted to see where you could take this technology. Maybe you can one day drive cars, drive planes, or even drive tractors with this. And so some challenges I faced while developing my project was getting everything to work together. Because I'm running this claw with 2 servos, and I'm running the car itself with 2 DC motors. And each component can work by itself. But when you want to throw it all together, it turns into a mishmash. And so you have to make some compromises. And so what I did is, I took an external power source, which was my battery, and I decided to use that to power my DC motors using a motor driver. And what the motor driver will let me do is it will let me split that current and run 2 DC motors at once, while at the same time using my Arduino to send commands to the motors. And so up here at the claw, we have 2 servos. And what these servos will do is it will allow the claw to open and close. As you can see, with all the wires going into my glove, you have 2 flex sensors. These act as variable resistors, meaning that the more you bend them, the higher the resistance. And so the Arduino will detect this change in resistance, this increase or decrease, and it will translate that into a value between 0 and 180. And so the servos will rotate according to this value. So the more I bend it, the higher the value, and the more the servos will rotate, resulting in the claw opening and closing all the way. And so, my time here at BlueStamp has been a true learning experience. It has encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone. Up until the halfway point of this camp, I was really iffy with everything, and I wasn't making any progress. I was still stuck on my first milestone, whereas people were finishing up their projects. So I took one step out of my shell and decided to write my own code, decided to build everything by myself, and this resulted in an avalanche of every milestone falling into place. And in 1 day, in 2 days, I finished 2 milestones. Thank you. Any questions? Here.
So what's next for this project?
Next, so as you can see, my glove is wired directly to my circuit. And so my next goal is to make it completely wireless, resulting in truly controlling it with your hands.
Did you find that programming some gestures were harder than others? Can you imagine that there are like some gestures that may feel intuitive to a human, but are difficult to translate into electronic signals?
Yeah, so my fingers naturally bend backwards a little, but what happens is, for my flex sensors, if you bend it all the way forwards, my claw will rotate all the way around, but the claw will actually shut itself instead of opening it, so I really have to stretch my hand backwards in order to open it. Rob?
Did you always decide to use the motor driver as opposed to something else to control the motors?
No, so what happens is, according to my build plan, I was supposed to use something else called an H-bridge, and I had already read up on all the instructions as to how to use it, how to integrate it, and then one day I'm forced to abandon that and use a motor driver, and so I had to restart like 2 days worth of reading. That's 2 days gone to waste. And my motor driver took another 3 days to get used to and integrate.